So I request Mr. Anil Pise to begin his presentation. There was one query in the morning that this powder after when it is dried, how long you can keep it, whether it is hygroscopic in nature, how to you after it becomes a powder, how you are handling it. So please throw light on that also, because in the morning session they have this query.
Yeah.
So I request you to please share the screen and start your presentation, sir.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everybody. Just I want to share the one screen of the presentation. Just I will share. Yeah. So we are presenting the spray dryer. The spray dryer technology is basically for the drying of the spent wash. The spent wash, after biomethanation, we feed to the evaporator, and after evaporation we dry it in the powder form. And this powder form contains around 5% moisture, and all other contents like major is potash and organic carbon and all the things. So just I am going through one by one. So this is a generally schematic of distillery complete complex. There are fermentation, there are distillation, then evaporation and other systems. So the information what we are now going to be explain you, that is confidential information. Generally, molasses is a byproduct of the sugar industry, and from the molasses we do the fermentation and we produce the alcohol. And while we are producing the alcohol, we generate the spent wash. And spent wash is a dark brown color effluent, which is majorly content organic and inorganic contents in that spent wash. So the spent wash generation is depends upon the process of the fermentation. Generally in India we have a different type of process: fed batch process, continuous process, and batch process. So that is our generation of the spent wash is in between of 18 to 15 liter per liter of alcohol. So this is the spent wash which is we need to treat further, and this spent wash handling is very difficult. It contains high COD and BOD, and this is a effluent. So main characteristics of the spent wash, like there are process of the fermentation, like say batch process, continuous process, and fed batch process. So that case our generation is depends upon our process which are adapted for the fermentation. But generally in India now there is generation of the spent wash is 10 to 12 liter per liter of alcohol, and the spent wash have dark brown color. pH of spent wash is around 4 to 4.3. COD of the spent wash is around 1,10,000 to 1,30,000. BOD is around 55 to 65,000. So this is the characteristics of the spent wash which is come out from the distillery. Positive sides of the spent wash. Actually, spent wash having it is a source from the basically from the sugarcane juice to molasses to that our spent wash. So this is whatever maybe content in the spent wash is came through that from original from the sugarcane. So there are some contents which is contains like potash and nitrogen, phosphorus, which is good for the fertilizer. So what we done that we have made the powder of this particularly spent wash, and we are going to use that powder as a granule, making a granule and making as a fertilizer, as a potash fertilizer. So this is the reason behind that content in the spent wash we can make a good fertilizer. So this is a general process flow diagram of the distillery. So what it may be molasses we have in the plant, we do the fermentation process, and we get the fermented wash. The fermented wash we feed to the distillation column, and we separate the alcohol. We get the product as alcohol, as ENA or pure alcohol. And what separation of that alcohol, then we get the spent wash. The spent wash which we get from that distillation plant, we send it to for the biomethanation process. In the biomethanation process, we reduce the COD and BOD, and we convert in the methane gas. And that methane gas is again used for that in the boiler for the as a fuel. And what may be outlet of the spent wash, after biomethanation we feed to the evaporator. In this system, we have two types of evaporator. One is integration evaporation, second is standalone evaporation. So we integrate the evaporator with the distillation plant, and we use the vapor of distillation plant to increase the salt content of the spent wash. So this is in first stage we do that, and in second stage we do in the standalone evaporation. In the standalone evaporation, we use the steam for the heating. So outlet of the integration evaporation is fed to the standalone evaporation, and we concentrate the spent wash up to 50% salt content. After concentrating the spent wash up to 50%, then we send it to the spray dryer, and in the spray dryer we dry it up to 95%, and after 95% we can keep as a powder in the store. We can store in the powder form. There is one question from the madam about that spent wash life, how spent wash storage, and there is hygroscopic nature. Basically, when we do the biomethanation, after biomethanation, when we dry the spent wash in the powder form, it is very free flowing powder. I will show some video of that also. So after that drying of the plant powder, if you cool that powder in the dehumidified air, then there is no addition of the moisture in the powder, and after that cooling powder, there is no additional moisture can be interrupted in the powder, because that was cooled in temperature, lower temperature, and there was dehumidified air usually for the cooling. So there is no addition in the moisture in the powder, and then powder can kept longer time. And we have already powders we have kept more than 6 months also. There is we can after 6 months also the powder is completely free flowing powder. Means there is no chances of the become any hard rock or something after doing this process. So this powder is completely free flowing powder, and we have some many 3-4 plants under production, and there also we can see the samples, and we can see the powder also. So that we are assured that there is nothing to be hygroscopic nature because of this our process what you have adopted. So this is the standard process where the spent wash comes to the biomethanation process. First we generate the biogas, then evaporation, then drying, and after drying we are making a fertilizer. This is the spray dryer photographs. So we developed that spray dryer when we done that R&D in our factory. We set up that different configuration of the dryers. We tested for the ATFD also, we tested for the spray dryer also, and in spray dryer also we have done different configurations like tall tower spray dryer, like atomizing tower spray dryer. So there are different type of spray dryers also. So in this case, when we established the system, we found that there was one of the system which is very suitable for the drying of the spent wash. Now accordingly, we designed the spray dryer and we set all parameters of the spray dryer, and then we installed one big spray dryer in Maharashtra only, that is Khandwa distillery, where 120 kLPD distillation plant is there, where we have the biomethanation, evaporation and drying in the spray dryer. Laterally we installed second spray dryer in Jakraya Sugar in Maharashtra only, and third we installed in now Rai Bahadur Sugar Mill in Uttarakhand. So all these spray dryers are running well. All these spray dryers are getting good quality of the powder, and customers are selling the powder as a byproduct, as a fertilizer products, and many big companies are buying this product now. So that concentrated spent wash what we have got from the evaporation plant, we feed it to the spray dryer, and spray dryer technology is a very prominent technology where we utilize hot air for the drying of that liquid, and that case we utilize sometimes flue gas of the existing boiler also, and we can generate the hot air by any solid fuel and making the hot air. After that we put that hot air at the top of the chamber. At the top of the chamber there is atomizer where we put the feed of the spent wash. That feed of spent wash is atomized in the atomizer, and once the feed of chamber is atomized in the atomizer, then same time the hot air comes in the contact with that hot liquid, that mist liquid, and is dried the powder, and that is in fraction of second we dry the powder, and the temperature of the hot air which is fed at the chamber is around 240 degrees temperature, that will be reduced up to 110 degrees centigrade. Then 110 degrees centigrade temperature flue gas is separated, taken out by the system through the cyclones, and while the taken out, when the air is passing through the cyclones, some particles which is carried with that air, that is also separated in the cyclone, and we can collect the product below cyclone. So there are 2 point collection. One point is below chamber and second point is below cyclone. And after collecting the product below cyclone, the exhaust air goes to the scrubber, and in the scrubber we can do the water scrubbing of that exhaust air, and after water scrubbing the air pass to the chimney to the atmosphere, and that is solid content in this air is below 50 ppm, so it is acceptable as per pollution control norms. So this is the powder. So this powder is dark brown color, now it's looking like faint color, but complete dark brown powder is produced in this drying, and this is free flowing powder and a very light powder. You know, this powder having a caloric value of 1700 to 2200, and this can be stored longer time, this can be bagged in the bagging, and we can sell it as a powder for the potash fertilizer. Now we done that granulation of the same powder, so we have developed a granulators which is making the powders in the granulation form, and making a powder in granulation form, it is very easy to store, easy to handle, and easy to utilize also. So this is the next stage of the powder what we have done, and now there are many companies in India, they are now producing this granulated spent wash powder into granulation and selling as a potash fertilizer, potash derived from the molasses. So there are few names like Coromandel Fertilizer, CMS Organics, GXFC. So these are companies are doing the products now. This is analysis of the spent wash powder. The spent wash powder's moisture content is around 5 to 10%. Color is dark brown. Potassium is around 15 to 18%. Nitrogen is 1 to 1.5%. Organic carbon is 36 to 39%. And other contents like chloride, sulfates, calcium, iron, sodium, all these are very good contents for the fertilizer. So this is a good product, we can say good fertilizer. It's a waste, from the waste to we can make the good fertilizer, and this is the main content of the powders in the spent wash. This is a lab report where we tested this powder, and that similar contents what we are mentioned in the earlier chart, that is the same contents in this lab report. We are tested with these two labs, one is that private lab and one is in Vasantdada Sugar Institute in Pune. So we got the result, and we have similar results in both the labs. So basically India now importing complete potash. In potash is complete dependability from outside countries. So in our case, if you try to make the complete spent wash and we can convert in the spent wash in the potash, that will be good saving of the Indian currency. So what I feel that if you want to do that complete powder in the spent wash powder into the fertilizer, currently consumption of India is almost 26,600 metric ton per annum. So that huge consumption is there, and if you want to produce this spent wash into the powder, we require almost 1,300 distilleries. So that is huge consumption is there and huge market is there for this powder. So whatever maybe you can produce the powder, this powder can be utilized in the fertilizer, and there will be no excess powder because India having less distilleries. So that way the consumption will be there and there will be no extra spent wash powder in the market. So considering that every company, every industry can go for this system and they can do that potash powder, potash fertilizer from the spent wash. We have done some differences between incineration boiler system and our GLD technology. So there are a few points where we have make the comparison. Operating cost. The operating cost in this incineration boiler is more because what it may be spent wash generation by the distillery, that has to be mixed with that coal, and the ratio of coal and power liquid is around 25-75. So considering that the what it may be spent wash generation, we have to burn that spent wash, and for that we need to use the coal, and the coal 25% quantity of the coal is higher because quantity of the spent wash generation with respect to our requirement in the steam and power in the distillery is more. So that way total fuel consumption in this system is more than our system, because our system we are producing the methane gas and we are using methane gas in the boiler. So consumption of that coal will be reduced by 40 to 45%, and overall consumption of the coal is lesser than the incineration boiler. So I have the case study also. That case study also I will share after this our presentation. So you can find out in figures how much steam we are generating from the incineration boiler, how much steam we require in the distillery, and how much steam fuel we can saving in our system by using biogas and coal. So that part is we can say operating cost of this our system is lesser than the traditional incineration boiler. Then second part is capital investment. Capital investment of the incineration boiler is very high compared to our case, because in our system we are having the biodigester, evaporation, drying system, and in normal regular boilers. In this case, in the incineration boiler there is evaporator and incineration boiler. So total cost of the evaporator and incineration boiler in the incineration boiler method and in our method, that our price is almost 30 to 40% lesser than the incineration boiler. So that is capital investment of our system will be less. Then third point is cleaning cycle. Actually, in our case, we don't need to cleaning anything, because our system that evaporation is okay. There is cleaning in evaporation system, but we can have a parallelly standalone in the standby body of that evaporator, so we can continue run the evaporator by keeping one body idle and one body in process. So that way, in the dryer also there is only rotating parts like atomizer and ID fan, FD fan. So there, that part they don't need any shutdown or any cleaning system. So that dryer can be run 365 days without any stoppage. So approximately, if we say that cleaning cycle, we can say our system can run 365 days, 24 hours. So there is no requirement of the any cleaning. Then fourth point is the maintenance. In our case, maintenance is very low, because we have very few rotary equipments like atomizer and ID fan, FD fan. So there is no such any rotary equipment. That cost of the equipment is not so high, and the spares of the equipment is also very low cost spares. Comparatively, the incineration boiler in maintenance cost is high. So that way also our system is better than in case of maintenance also. In fourth point is, in this case, the high incineration boiler, we need to put the boiler higher capacity than requirement of the distillery, because we need to incinerate complete spent wash generated by the distillery. So that case, ratio of that coal and spent wash, which is 25-75, that case the in total generation of the steam in the boiler will be higher than the requirement of the process plant. So accordingly, that in our case we don't need to put higher capacity boiler. We can put the standard boiler which is required for the distillation requirement, and where we can use the gas and coal. So there is no additional capacity installation of the boiler in our case. And because of this higher capacity installation of the boiler, there is excess steam generation and excess power generation. So that steam and power generation is not balanced in the distillery in case of incineration boiler. But in our case, there is steam and power is completely balanced. So there is no requirement of extra steam generation or no extra power will be generated. That is completely balanced. Then this particularly incineration boiler is not suitable for the juice and syrup case, because juice and syrup case there is no such solids contents in the system. So that way there is no suitability for this incineration boiler for in juice and syrup case. But in our case, our system is suitable for juice and syrup case also. So our dryer can be same dryer and same technology can be adopted for juice and syrup case. Now currently there are 2-3 companies where we have supplied the plants. They got the EC from that CPCP also. One of the case is Jacaraya Sugar, where we got that additional capacity enhancement, and there we got the EC for the making the spent wash powder and making a fertilizer. So this is one of the examples of that ECs. There are another companies, AID Perry also. Then Ugar Sugar also one of the company. They got the recent AC from that our CPCP. So this is the technology is already adopted in 3-4 companies, and they are also running well. So this is the one of the examples of that. This is the plant where we installed the first dryer, and that is the distillery of 110 KLPD. It is Maharashtra Khandwa distillery. That is the biodigester where we doing the biomethanation of the raw spent wash, and we get the raw spent wash from that biodigester. This is a condensate polishing unit where we do the treatment of the process condensate, where we do the recycle of the process condensate, reducing by COD up to 200 to 400, and this sent to the process again. This is the evaporator installed in the one of the customer where we have 45 KLP district Jacaraya Sugar in Maharashtra. So that is also falling film and post efficient type evaporation. This is the installations what we have done. It is in Jacaraya Sugar. in Maharashtra. It is designed for 150 KLPD. So this is the chamber which is already running in their plant. This is equipment where we installed second plant in Maharashtra. This is a plant we installed in actually Ethiopia. It was first plant we installed in Ethiopia. That was not in India, but we have installed the first plant. This is a plant we installed in the Raipatur sugar mill in Uttarakhand. Currently, we are executing 3 projects with the same technology. One is AB grade, then another is Khandwa distillery, and one project we are executing for the Malawi in export for the African country. There are also similar technology we are adopted there. So the customers which visited to our process plant and they have seen our running plant in our Pune and in our Maharashtra where we installed the plants. So they are from Radhika Kaitang, they are from Ugar sugar, then Kanuria sugar, then Chadda sugar, then latest Davangiri sugar. So this is our technology where we are doing this drying by the spent drying by the evaporator. I have some video clips, just I want to share you that so you can get the complete idea about that how is going to be get the products and how is drying is happen. So just I am sharing that video clips now. So this is the Raipatur sugar mill where we installed the spray dryer. This is the spent chamber, below chamber we are collecting the powder. This is the bottom of the chamber. This is almost 12-meter diameter chamber. It's very big chamber, and we are collecting the powder below that chamber. This is second point of collection cyclone in between, and we increase temperature up to 240 degree temperature. This is the exhaust. The drying technology what we developed, and now we have installed 4 plants and 4 plants are running well. So I think any doubts, any queries, any questions you can ask us.
Thank you, sir, for a very wonderful presentation along with video.
Yeah.
Now, I think the person who was asking whether it can stay for a longer period, so you have solved that query. Is there any question from the audience? Anybody wants to ask any question?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Shukla sir.
Definitely, certainly you are receiving R&D congratulations from me, because I personally know that you are doing a hard work in the R&D of this project since last 10 years.
Yeah.
And till now, you are the successful, most successful person in this field. So I would like to again congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Now, my question is that you are having two analysis, two R&D on this field. One is on the ATFT dryer and the other one is this spray dryer.
Yeah.
I want to know which one dryer is the most suitable and better.
Yeah. So actually, you know that sir, we are in the drying field for last 20 years, and we are doing all type of dryers. We are doing ATFT, we are doing spray dryer, we are doing rotary dryer, steam to bundle dryer. We have, when we are doing this R&D of this spent wash, when in our R&D plant, we done trials on all the dryers. Means we have done trials on ATFT also, we have done trials on spray dryer also, and other dryers also. So what we found that suitability of the drying system for this particular products. So in the ATFT, what happens when we are drying in the ATFT, that is not free flowing powder. That comes in the form of lumps. And the form of lumps once come below the ATFT, we cannot store in this bags and it is become hard rock. So that is the reason we decided to not to go for ATFT. We have to go for the spray drying technology, which is giving free flowing powder, and we can store it longer time. And that's the reason this is the technology we are adopted for this drying tech system. But ATFT, okay, ATFT we can dry the products, but we cannot make the product free flowing products, and it becomes difficult to handle, difficult to transport, and utilization of the powder also. So that is the reason this is the best technology than the ATFT.
You mean spray dryer is better?
Yeah, spray dryer is better than the ATFT.
There is one question in the chat box by Mr. Ashish. He wanted to know what liquid or binder you are using for granulation for making granulation in the powder?
Yeah, a right question. Actually, we have tried different binders, but what we feel that we have mixed up this last granulation what we have done in our factory, R&D factory, and now we are installing one plant also. There we are actually mixing with the press mud and some dolomite and that spent wash powder only. But what we feel that having the specific design of that granulator, that is rotary drum granulator, we need to add the additional moisture in this granulator because the making the granulation we are adding around 10% water also there, and after adding the water with this spent wash powder and this other contents, mixer of other contents is it's become a good quality round shape granules. So that was the addition we have done latest, and this is without major binder also we can do that granulation, because itself that spent wash has the tendency to make its shape like this. So accordingly that mixing with that other contents like some quantity of the press mud 20-30%, we made this good quality granules.
Any other question?
Mr. Anil,
Yeah.
my question is also related to this question. Have you conducted any study starting from dry spent wash and after concentrating amine and after incineration, and your process is concentrated slope, now you are converting into the powder.
Yeah.
So what is the economics and what is the payback period in your system?
Yeah, right, sir. I have this.
Let me complete
Yeah.
the question. In the first system also we can recover the potash from the ash, from bottom ash. And also we are getting the energy and spreading this slope. And your system is completely you are taking out the potash, dry powder.
Yeah.
So what is the economics and what is the payback period?
Yeah.
This is right.
Yeah, I have that one case study of this particular case, insulation boiler versus our system. I like to share you now, so I will share the screen in detail, so you will have clear idea about that differences between two, and we can say payback of this our system.
Sir, you can share.
I will share this. Yeah, just. So this is a one case study of 65 KLPD. Molasses to ethanol, where we are using biomethod spent wash dryer and this drying system. So we are considering fermentation, alcohol in the fermentation around 9%, and spent wash generation, raw spent wash generation is around 590 meter cube per day in the 65 KLP distillery, and it is 615 ton per day, having 15% solids. So this spent wash we are feeding to the biodigester. And that biodigester we are generating around 22,540 meter cube per day methane gas, and out of that we are using 775 kg for the drying, and balance is 4790 for the boiler. And the spent wash what we have is out of that biodigester, it's having around 8% solids, and that 8% solid spent wash we are feeding into the integration and standalone evaporation. There are two type of evaporators, one is integrated with the distillery and one is around standalone evaporation. So in that case we are evaporating around 517 ton per day water, and utilizing 85 ton per day steam only, because there are because of integration we can save steam here, and we require lesser steam because of integration with the distillation plant. So after evaporation we got 98 ton per day, 50% solids slurry, thick slurry. That slurry we are spraying in the spray dryer, and we can get around 51 ton per day dry powder. For that drying we need around 775 meter cube per day biogas, or you can use coal also. It is around 9 ton per day total requirement of the coal. So this is the complete scheme. And if you go for same capacity with the incineration boiler, then raw spent wash generation will remain same, 590 meter cube per day or 615 ton per day, having 15% solids. After that will be given to the evaporator. After evaporation we got 168 ton at 55% solids, thick slope, and that thick slope will be fed to the incineration boiler. So considering 25% coal and 75% raw spent wash, total 54 ton coal will be required to incinerate this 168 ton this thick slope. So after that incineration, we can generate around 530 ton per day total steam. So in this case, we have make the comparison for 65 kLP distillery. In case of ethanol production, we need a 2.3 kg per liter of ethanol steam. So for the 65 kLP distillery, we need 150 ton per day steam for the both cases. You can say our case or in the incineration boiler case, their steam requirement for the distillation remains same. Then steam requirement for the evaporator. In our case, we require 85 ton because we have integration system. So that's the steam consumption is less. And in this incineration boiler, we need 108 ton steam per day. Then there is also we can have CPO, that is usual for the recycle the process condensate, where there also we require 39 ton per day steam. But in this case, incineration case, we raw spent wash, we don't have this type of technology because the CPO will be the conventional space CPO, and that we are not considering here in steam consumption. But considering the steam consumption in the distillation and evaporation, total steam required for our case is 235 ton per day, and for the incineration case is 258 ton per day. So in this case, installed boiler capacity what we have calculated is in our case is 14 ton, and in incineration boiler case is 22 ton. Because 22 ton is required bigger capacity because we need to incinerate that liquid in that boiler. So the generation of the steam by incinerating the spent wash and by using the 25% coal is around 22 ton per hour. So that way we need to install a higher capacity boiler in that case. So considering that steam generation by the biogas in our case is around 74 ton, that already I given here figures, that is 74 tons steam can be generated by the biogas, which is 14,790 meter cube per day. So that steam will be generated by the biogas, and then balance steam is required to generate by the coal is around 161 ton. And for generating steam from 161 ton, we need around 39 ton fuel as a coal. We are considering coal now in case. So 39 ton will be the coal requirement for our case to run the complex. And in that incineration boiler, we require 56 ton coal because we are generating more power and more steam in this case to incinerate the spent wash. So in that case, there is a difference of the 17 ton extra coal will required in incineration boiler case, means we are saving 17 ton per day coal. Now, if you are generating the power from excess steam, what is generated by that incineration boiler, so that cost, if you convert in the current rate of 2.5 rupees per kilowatt, we can get the revenue around 45,000 for the boiler, the power. But in our case, we are generating the powder, and that powder will be sold at 4 rupees per kg, so we can get the revenue from that powder. So and what it may be coal requirement in our case, total saving of that 17 ton at 5,500 metric ton rate per metric ton, it's some 93,000. So total saving will be around 2,55,000. Difference between two savings means there we are producing the power of 45,000 rupees, and here we are producing the powder and selling at 4 rupees kg and saving the coal. Total difference is around 2,55,000 per day. So considering that 2,55,000 per day, we are saving 3 rupees 90 paisa per liter of ethanol. So if you are running the plant for 300 days and 300 days 65 kLPD and 3 rupees 90 paisa per liter, total cost is around 7 crore 60 lakhs rupees. So that was the total we can say saving or earning of this putting this technology. And if you could not produce the power by that excess steam generated by the incineration boiler, then ratio of that difference between the two this system is around 4.6 rupees per liter of alcohol. So that goes to higher, it goes to 897 lakhs per annum. If you go for this ethanol case, if you go for ENA case, there is slightly difference in this consumptions. For ENA case, our consumption of steam will be more. So both the cases it required around 208 ton per day. Then steam required for evaporation remains same 85,108. So total steam required in this case is 293 ton per day, and here 316 ton per day. So again same case, we are producing steam by the biogas 74 ton. Then balance steam we need to produce 219 ton by coal, and that for producing 219 ton steam we require 54 ton coal. and in this case we required 56 ton coal. So there is only 2 ton coal difference in both the systems, means we need lesser coal than incineration boiler. In that case again we are generating the power by the excess steam and we are getting a revenue of 45,000 rupees per day. And in this case what we are saving 2 ton coal, which is around 11,000 rupees, and additional powder cost, value powder of around 2,06,000. So considering the both, we are total difference is around 1,72,000. So that means per liter it comes to 2.65 rupees. So considering this 300 working days and 65,000 liter, it comes to 5 crore 16 lakhs rupees. So that was the difference saving in the per annum. And if you say that this saving as converted in our our plant capacity cost, so we can say maximum 2 years we can have payback of our complete system.
So one question from my side. This you have made this powder, you have made this granules, and you have shown you have applied in the crops. But how many trials, field trials, for a year or 2 years or 3 years you have conducted? Because whether continuously if you are putting this in the field, how the field is affected, how the next generation crop is affected, this type of trial have been done or not?
Yeah, actually if you see that content in this powder, whatever the contents of this powder, it is not harmful for the field. So okay, surely we have to see that crop to crop differences between utilizing of this type of the fertilizer and other fertilizers. But in short, we can say it is content more potash and other organic carbons. When organic contents are more. So that what we have done trials till now, it is not so bigger scale, but we have done some trials and that is giving good result. There is no second generation.
1 year trial you have done?
Almost 1 year trial we have done, but we are also doing the trial in the institute also. The institute also helping us in this case in Maharashtra. So
one more thing, whether the application, what will be the application dose? Like if you will add in the form of powder or you will add in the form of liquid. And if it is in the liquid, whether you have done the analysis of dissolving that powder in the liquid form, and the complete analysis have been done with that liquid, and how much dose, whether you have to dilute it and add it or like that. This type of study or anything?
We done this analysis of the how much quantity of the fertilizer, means granules, can be utilized in the field. So as per our experience, what we found that around 25 to 30 kg per acre we can use this fertilizer. And for dilution, mixing with the liquid, we have only done with that water. And in water it is diluting, and it can be given by through water also to the crop. So both the things we can do this way.
One more question: what is the pH range of scrubbing water in scrubbing column? Whether acidic, alkaline or neutral?
It is neutral, because our spent wash what we are getting outside the outlet of this our biodigester, it is neutral. So it is same powder is going there, and this liquid what we have doing the scrubbing, it is recycled back in the evaporator, and again it comes to that same system.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very interactive session. Very nice presentation. I hope this technology come up good. And people from the distilleries follow it, and they can get good remuneration, everything. Sir, but still I think the crop testing need to be carried out. You keep on testing, sir, because we have to see the land property also, means soil property every year, whether it is same or every year whether it is changing. That type of research also you add in your presentations.
Yeah, surely we are actually in the process of that, and in next season.
Technology part is good.
Yeah.
We have covered it, but
Yeah.
the application part should be there so that people get convinced it will not harm the environment.
Surely, we like to do that. Already we are doing this, and we will give some feedback of that also in future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.